Feedback. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you. Feedback, feedback, feedback. And take us along with you. You only need to go to the App Store and download TV 33 on demand, and you can take us along with you. Happy Monday to everybody who's tuned in, and thank you so much for joining Hood Research on Monday mornings at 9. Just want to say good morning to a few people. Will be Katrina and Vera, Rosa, to Carl, and to Al, and to Mark Cummings, of course. And the media, you want to say a shout out to?
Shout outs and good morning to Brother Professor Griggs, Ruth Ann, also Sister Jackie, and Sister Jackie Taylor in Vegas, who was one of our guests, and very much trying to help our youth gain phonics excellence. And as I always say, you can see the phone number, the call-in numbers at the bottom of the screen. And I have here in my hand pencil and paper because we will be giving information, and we'll want you to record it so that you can use it in the future.
Yes, I want to say good morning to Tawana and to Robert and Ron as well. And I want to let everybody know who's tuned in that on the 15th of this month, you know, they say that Valentine's Day is for the ladies and Sweetest Day is for the men. Well, October the 15th is Sweetest Day, and we're going to give a hayride that afternoon. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to it. And also on November, you saved the date, November the 5th, we're going to be hosted by the Friends of Detroit City Airport at the airport. And that would be November the 5th. November the 5th. You know, I got some information. I got the ballot here. And this happens to have departments in the county of Wayne. But it is midterm, as they call it, time for the midterm elections, the renewal of precinct delegates, the renewal of state legislators, and the day is November the 8th. However, the satellite locations are alive and well and open and ready for you to come and do early voting. You know, it doesn't take very long to go into the location and vote, or to your voting precinct for that matter, and cast your ballot. You know, the BD people say that, oh, my vote don't count. Well, if that were true, then Coleman Alexander Young would never have been mayor of the city of Detroit for 20 years. If that were true, that your vote don't count, then Maynard Jackson would not have been mayor of the city of Atlanta in Georgia for 12 years. And if that weren't true, Adolf Hitler would not have become the head of Germany. We have a caller early this morning. Let's see who that is.
Two, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my goodness. We're on a roll.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us? Hello?
Turn your radio or TV down.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I'm calling because I received a call, and it was from, I think, the Bad Community Services. Anyway, this guy went on to inform me that Blue Cross Blue Shield is the right-wing conservative groups are using our tax dollars to stop democracy and civil rights and voting rights. And they're affiliated with the Wayne State University Board of Governors.
What?
Yes, and they said that the Wayne State Board of Governors are the only ones who can stop this
Wow. No.
because they're supporting it. Yes.
They're supporting it. Well,
Uh-huh.
I think that it would be a good idea to call some of the Wayne State Board of Governors and ask them if that's something they're doing. Then
Yes, they have a phone number.
yes, and secondly, there is one of the members of the Wayne State Board of Governors. His name is Dr. Mike Lasuito, I think is how you pronounce it, and he is a guest host on 9:10 a.m. every Sunday morning at 6 a.m. with an attorney, Sandy O'Brien. So you can, in addition to calling Wayne State for the other members, you can also call that program on Sunday morning and ask him, is that true? Did he know? And why?
Yes.
You know.
I left a phone number to call.
You want to give out?
Governors of Wayne State.
You're welcome to give out the phone number.
Yeah, the number, area code 313-577-2034.
2034, got it.
577-2034. Oh, yes.
I just want to get the word out.
No, I have no problem with that. Thank you. Thank you for calling for it.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us? Hello, caller, you're on the air. Okay, what we'll do is we'll have you call back, but you're free to call back, and to any and all others, the call-in numbers are at the bottom of the screen. Okay, now, Theo, you were sharing with them the voting.
Oh, yes. You know, it's unfortunate that people come up with this idea that their vote does not count. Well, of course, your vote cannot count if you don't cast your vote. But it is important to participate in the process that we have in these United States, now where we live. And if you continue to live here, in order to make a difference, it's important that you get involved in the process, the governmental process that controls this country. And as I was talking about, having a mayor who has been elected in an office for 20 years, I would tend to think that somebody who says their vote doesn't count could look around and see how things did change during the time that particular mayor was in office for 20 years. One of the most important things that took place that people, young men and women know today, were not aware of that happened during the early years prior to 1973, let's say that. And that was the kind of physical abuse that took place by the police officers inside the city of Detroit. And they were called the Big Four. They would ride around and harass black men, no matter how old they were. If seniors were standing on the corner, just say they come to a store and they were going to go in this store, but one saw his friend and he says, "Oh, how you been? Haven't seen you years." They stand there just talking. The Big Four meant that there were 4 police officers riding around in the police cars. And they were generally well over 6 feet, because my understanding is that during that time you had to be tall in order to be hired on a police force, so that you could have this ominous kind of look, I guess. And they would just harass them, no matter old, young, just as long as you were an African American, they were going to harass you. Then there was the group that rode around called Stress. Those are more police officers who would harass our young people in the city. So when Coleman Young was elected mayor of the city of Detroit, he stopped that practice of stress. He stopped the Big Four.
And for those of you who may not know, STRESS was an acronym that meant Stop the Robberies, Enjoy Safe Streets. And I happen to live in an area where stress was very present because I wasn't that far from Wayne State University. And one of the things that stress used to do is they would bait you. They would have some stress officer who was dressed or appeared to be a hobo or a bum or whatever you may want to call him. And he would be there and maybe have a few dollars hanging out of his pocket, so that it was visible to whomever in order to tempt somebody to rob him. And so they set us. I didn't get involved in it, but I was aware of it because, again, I lived in that area of Wayne State University. So they were setting people up to commit robbery against who they thought were vagrants or just homeless people. So that way they could just come down on them. So, yeah, stress was very real.
Mm-hmm. And that was the talking point for Coleman Young, who was campaigning for mayor of the city of Detroit. And he did get elected. And upon getting elected, that was the first order of the day. So, and there were some other things that Mayor Young did that were beneficial for the black community here where we live, And
I want to add one other thing. When Theo said that if you obviously if you don't vote, your vote don't count. But we have a ballot here, and on the top of the ballot is a number. So they count these numbers. So don't say it does not count. It does count because the number is here. And I'll just say, off the top, let's say your number may be 33. So when you submit your ballot, that ballot is counted. So your vote does count because there's somebody there at the polling station who will count it. So don't dismiss or take lightly the fact that, and then again, as I've often said, it only takes a few minutes of your day. You can go absentee, you can be in person at the polls, but it doesn't take a lot of your day. So, you can leave Judge Judy alone for at least a half hour, or, some rerun of Good Times. Let's get some good times going on in our community, which is what we truly need.
That's right. Absolutely. And if you are disappointed about a particular elected official, then when it comes time to re-elect, you can not re-elect that person. Okay, well, now caller.
Okay. So, I encourage you all, and right now you're seeing just a barrage, a tidal wave of political ads now on both sides that are highlighting what they consider the negative aspects of each. And I have to say, one of the things that they do very cleverly is, and they did this with OJ as well, they will use black and white images when they want to tarnish or make you look bad, and then they use colorful images for the candidate that they're promoting. And people don't understand that that's a psychological thing that's being done as well. And not only do they use black and white images, but sometimes because you can adjust the contrast in those images, make them look even darker than they would be. And in that way, the person has, as Theo indicated with the police, an ominous type of look. So you're like, oh no, because we don't understand that they have psychologists and psychiatrists who are part of what they use when they're this is for commercials or anything, regardless of politics. They have people who study psychology, sociology, and demographics, as they say, so they know how to pinpoint it. Now, we do have another caller who I believe will participate in this conversation. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Will you share your name and how you're viewing us? Hello, caller. Okay.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Woo! I've tried 3 times, 3 strikes, I'm in.
Good one.
Well, happy Monday to you. What's going on?
I agree with everything you guys are saying this morning. And the lady that called earlier about these corporations,
Right.
that's what I was telling you last night
Mm-hmm.
about the defend the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are corporations that's working in unison to get contracts. So they care nothing about your rights, your lives. It's all about profit over people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to these legislators and buying them all. And they're part of supporting candidates who demonstrate alleged racism, cleaning, and voter suppression.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
everybody
a
look
good
up
one.
the pen.
Right.
I'm trying to find the name of it. It's the pen. Let's see. Oh my God, I got the notes in front of me and I can't see it. Um,
Is your
but
phone on
anyway,
speaker? Is your phone
they
on?
had a meeting at Wayne State Friday. They had been in Lansing protesting against these corporations, which is DET,
Mm-hmm.
Delta Dental, Ford, GM, all these big companies
Wow.
uh, defend the voters' right.
Take your
So,
phone. Is your phone on speaker?
uh-huh.
Take.
Yeah, can you hear me better?
Yes. Yes. Go
Oh,
ahead.
good, good. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. It's okay.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it
It
don't.
don't. Yeah. You're right. Go ahead.
But
Continue.
yeah, oh Lord, you know what? I got all these notes in front of me, and for some reason I can't find the name of the organization.
Oh, they
But
shared. Mm.
they're Black Voters Coalition, uh, Defend Black Voters Coalition. That's what you need to look up. Defend
Defend
Black
Black
Voters
Voters
Coalition,
Coalition.
and it will break it down on all the alleged corporations
Mm.
and
They have a
organizations that's
Facebook
fighting
page or is a
against them.
website? Is that a Facebook page or
Pardon?
web? Is that a website
It's
or
on the
Facebook
web. It's
website?
called Defend Black
Black
Voters
Voters.
Coalition. You
Okay.
Yeah, I've
can
got that.
Google
Okay.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Okay.
And they're going to break it down on what these corporations are doing
Right.
and how they're buying off our legislators and,
Mm-hmm.
well, not candidates, but those that's already in
They're
position.
in office. Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah, that's
wow.
already in office.
Gotcha. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. But you
Yeah.
guys been bringing up some good points. If you don't vote, you don't count.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's the bottom line. And I've worked polls, and once you put your ballot in the machine counts the ballots as they
Mm-hmm.
are submitted into the machine.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yes,
Au-
yes.
Automatic process.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just got to do our best to weed out the evil and the wicked that is
Mm-hmm.
constantly discouraging many of us because
Right.
I know myself, I had to get good research to push me to the polls. Because we have too
And
many
she's been going
proposals
ever
also
since.
that is hurting and destroying our communities.
Yeah, and what's interesting, there was a report out that the various areas, Detroit is the largest, but other areas in addition to, were asking to start early as it relates to the absentee ballots. The process for absentee ballots, as we have one here on the table, is you have to look at the envelope. You have to make sure that the envelope is signed
Oh,
on, and then you check the signature. I'm sorry, let me back up. The envelope. I gotta say that the envelope must be signed. The envelope must be signed.
And I'm holding it up where you can see there's a red rectangular box that you have to
Right.
sign the back of this envelope in order for it to be valid.
Right. And they look at that signature and they check it according to the records in the office. Okay. That makes it legitimate when it is signed. Then they're asking that they can do that early. That's not exposing your ballot to be able to do that early, and it cuts down on the length of time it takes to process the elections report. So they have so far they've gotten permission to do that, and they are going to start on Sunday night, Monday morning. There are those who are being trained now to handle the election results. And then that will give us an opportunity to have our winners reported out on that same night, which is Tuesday, November the 8th. And that's one of the things that they're doing. And the next thing they have to do with the absentee ballots, of course, is take them out of the envelope and check the numbers, as Thabita was saying, their numbers on the top of the ballot itself. And they have a lot of checks and balances that some of the other folk who came down the last election to Huntington Place, which used to be Cobo Hall, and they were banging on the windows and they were screaming and they were acting a fool because they wanted to intimidate those who had been hired to count the results. So, anyway, this is a
Wanted
new
to add
process.
something to
Sure.
yourself.
Yeah.
BridgeDetroit.com. You might want to look up some interesting articles. Starting pay for Detroit police officers to raise by $10K under tentative deal. Also, they have a report, an article, will shot spotter expand in Detroit? Council delays vote. And another good article, Detroit has plenty of land. Do residents have equal access? And the other really good news, hopefully, is new round of Detroit roof window repair program opens October the 1st.
Say that the last information
New
again.
round of Detroit roof window repair program opens October the 1st.
Oh, that's
So if
interesting.
you want to know these news, BridgeDetroit.com has excellent articles that would possibly inform
Okay.
activities.
Now you say again, bridgedetroit.com.
Yes,
Is that correct? Okay.
BridgeDetroit.com.
Okay. It's a magazine online. Yes. We had one of the writers on with us. I guess maybe a year ago or so.
Okay.
Right. But that's excellent information. And since you mentioned, and we want to take a detour from the ballot for a moment, the concern that the community has of the council approving $8 million. Some people say $7, but anyway, $7 or $8 million to purchase a contract with a company that runs the shot spotter. Supposedly, if a gunshot is heard, and in that area there are microphones to pick up the sound. The sound will go to and through a computer, which is supposedly is outside of the city of Detroit. It will identify the location from which the shot came and send it to the 911 operator or special 911 operator. They at that point will dispatch a police car to go to that location. Now, the question for that is, okay, so you heard a gunshot and you got information as to from where it came, and you go to that location. Sometimes reports have said they found nothing. Other times they may have found that someone can give information and say, oh, yeah, there's a person over there who was shot. Okay. But the bottom line is, it is a reactive contract. After somebody's been shot, they may or may not find out about it. We're at the bottom of the hour and we have to take a break now. So hold on, Sly Soul, and we will be back momentarily.
It's time to do something more. Join the Detroit Police Department, either straight out of high school or make a bold career change. Officers start at $40,000, plus health insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, and more. Apply online at joindetroitblue.org.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle, Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wally Wallman here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am the BD Mpinga.
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Feedback, feedback, feedback. We are back, and thank you all so much for staying with us. I hope you called a friend, a family member, co-worker, church member, or the church members, and told them to tune in to Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. Now, where were we? We were talking about the shot spotter.
Shot fire.
Yes, and as I
I
was,
wanted to add to that.
go ahead.
What if the fire you hear is a backfire
What
from
do
a vehicle or fireworks for people doing some
Where-
sort
where-
of festivity celebration? Will that pick up and they will be running cars out there to look where the fireworks or the backfire
yes.
came from?
Yes, it has been reported that there are other things that make a noise very similar to a gunshot. And they have been reported as such. And scout cars have been sent out to check it out. And there have been reports, well, the biggest report came from Chicago, Illinois, saying that they were discontinuing. I repeat, they are discontinuing the use of the shot spotter in Chicago, Illinois, because they have not found it to be helpful. And here,
So let me ask you
I
this.
guess maybe that's why they came to this city, to see if they could fleece the flock. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes?
Right, so let me ask you this. So once you find out that it's a failure, which you should know that before you go in spending billions of dollars or millions of dollars, do you get some of that money back when you find out it doesn't work?
Wouldn't that be a good idea?
You know what's interesting
No.
too is the fact that we were, I guess, petitioned to have the facial recognition, which was a bust more or less, and it wasn't geared towards. I'll just say this: it misidentified too many African Americans and maybe other non-white Americans as well. So here we go again with technology and whether it's valid or not, and it's an interesting thing. And then again, also, it's always in African American or brown communities as well. I mean, they shoot in Troy and Birmingham too, but
That is
here
so
we go.
true. That is so true. And it would be helpful if they would report that. It would be helpful if they were reporting that, because it makes it appear as if this is the only area where it goes on, and that's just not true.
They're creating a false image of Detroit, which is not necessarily applicable. However, it can discourage a lot of people just by the fact that you've been branded in that way. Well, we need shot spotter technology, as you say, Chicago, Theo, Detroit, and what other major cities that have a high percentage of black Americans in them.
Well, not only that, they already had a trial in the city of Detroit. There is a shot spotter in the 9th precinct, which is what is on Gunston and I forget the cross.
Gratiot, I believe.
Gratiot. And then they have another trial shot spotter on the west side of the city in the 8th police precinct.
And consider the fact that we've got the green light program as well. I mean, we got all these things that the city is using our tax money for. And, I mean, there have been some benefits, I have to say, in the green light thing, because I've seen the news where they actually were able to identify or at least take a picture or image of someone, and somebody said, oh, that's Pookie right there, and they could bust on Pookie, so there has been some advantages to that, because Pookie didn't need to be out there doing that.
In the first place, right. Yes. But in the meantime, the vote this past Tuesday was to continue the two that they have and to continue researching. And I guess they want to come up with a better excuse why they may approve this $8 million. So that's...
Y'all know how the game go.
Mm-hmm. That's what
Yeah, I
they
know how the game goes. It's good cops, bad cops. So we're gonna be on your side today, but the real deal is to give up all the profits to outsiders and those
Mm-hmm.
evildoers
Yeah.
that care nothing about people because they just for the greed of the profiting.
Mm-hmm.
The
You're
prison
true.
industrial complex, same thing. Let's get as many people as we can. So everybody's hustling African American and Latino communities because they see profits coming out of it. There's no real moral feeling of, yeah, we want to do this for society. It's like, how much can we pad our pockets and how gullible will they be to go along with it? And there's a
Mm-hmm.
saying, I don't remember who it was, I'll have it the next show, but it says a good politician is one who, once you buy him, he remains bought or she remains bought. So that's the underhanded backdoor dealings, similar to the tow trucks and all the other things, is once you kind of sweeten their pockets, their purses, or something like that, they loyal to you until they get busted.
Mm-mm-mm. That is sad. So when that is determined by the voters, then the voters need to seek out someone else that they can depend on to do the right thing, have what do they call a moral compass, and go in and represent. You know, we hear people within the community uh, who are working towards a better end. But oftentimes they don't think about running, or people don't ask them or encourage them or push them to run, because you would be a better representative for this community. And that's something we need to get a little better at. We also need to go back to court watching. You know, at one time we had court watching. So those are a couple of things that need to be considered, reconsidered, and put into play, because it's for the betterment of the community, you know.
And if you're retired and you got time on your hands, then that makes you even more, it puts you in a better position to participate in those things, because we all need to be active. Once you retire, it doesn't mean retire from life. It just means retire from a job. So
Mm-hmm.
then you take on other activities, whether you are an activist within your community, involved in a block club, court watching, as Theo said, and there's so many other different roles we need people to fill. And there is a force out there, because there's a large retiree population in Detroit that could do something. And we look at how there's certain times mental declines. Well, once you remain active, whatever the activity is, it strengthens your mental abilities, and it doesn't go into decline. So I'm just saying to all of you out there who may not have things to do. Now, of course, Theo's doing this. I'm retired. I'm doing this along with other things. But there's some of you out there who need to involve or engage yourself in some activity, some organization like Hood Research, and participate, because you will be affected either way.
Right. That's definitely an excellent suggestion, because
I
when
think it's
folks just
yeah.
sit around.
It's important to update and upgrade because it's good for your mind, and it definitely would support the community if you
Absolutely.
bring in the talents and the energy
Mm-hmm.
that's needed to
Mm-hmm.
uplift and
Right.
empower.
and and even those who may not be as ambulatory as they would like to be, they could even sit at the window and watch the children going to school, because the eyes and ears being alert during the time that our children are on their way to school or on their way home from school, that it's important. And when you have people looking out for them in the event that something, happens, you can call help for the children. Oh, so there are many ways that people can help with putting out a lot of energy, like Percy Johnson did, who was interviewed here about Thabiti a couple of weeks ago. As much as he is doing for this election, and when Stacey Abrams was running before, he actually physically went to Atlanta, Georgia to work and to help her. Now that's a high energy person, and that is a lot that was done by him. But then when you have a low energy person, as I was sharing, if you were just to sit at the window and watch the children go into school for their safety, that's just something that many would be able to do.
And I would
Do
add too,
we still have the neighborhood patrol?
right,
Say that again.
neighborhood patrol.
What about the neighbor? Oh, we do have neighborhood patrol, NPOs, neighborhood patrol officers, and for every precinct, you can call and speak to the sergeant in charge of those who are supposed to monitor, and their responsibility is to drive through the neighborhood or ride through the neighborhood on bikes or walk through the neighborhood. But of course, they can't be on every street, that they may need to monitor. And if you have children on their way to school, as an example, they're walking down numerous streets. And that's the reason why I was saying that the residents who are not as ambulatory as they would like to be would just sit in the window. They can watch the kids. Or if it's a warm day, they can sit on the front porch
Absolutely.
and sip their juice or coffee, and just be there.
Get out the house.
Yeah, it's a support system for the neighborhood, a support system for the children.
And our purposes don't end just because we retire and say, well, okay, I've spent 30 years here or there and did what I had to do. We have a greater purpose outside of serving an employer and being a part of a community. Whether you want to or not, you're part of a community. So you can participate, but you're still part of that community no matter what. If there's a fire down the street, that's part of your community. If something happens, somebody gets carjacked on your street, that's part of your community. So we can't just lock ourselves in and lock ourselves away as if we don't have a greater purpose. And now they have, they've had this for quite a while where, they say speak up, that type of thing, you get a little reward. You don't even have to be identified. I believe how the system works is you put, from my vague memory, you write down whatever information, you tear off a piece of the corner of the paper, and then once, they're able to take care of the legal or the, the research on the criminal activity, all they have to do is match that piece of torn paper to the one that you sent in with the information, and you get your $2,500, $5,000, whatever the reward may be at that time. So you don't even have to be on Front Street, as they say, to be a part of it. But if we don't keep the streets safe, then it may be our turn, unfortunately, when we become a victim of that same thing. So as Theo said, you can sit on your porch. There's many things you can do. You can say, I saw a black van or a red car or whatever, but we still live in that community. So we have to be the eyes for that community, for the children, for the elders, and everyone in between.
That is so true. So true. And now I wanted to go back to the ballot, and it's marked in so many ways for checks and balances. That is important. And there, as I was saying, there are satellite locations, and the one of the larger ones on the west side of the city is Wayne County Community College. Wayne County Community College is located on Outer Drive at the corner of the Southfield Freeway. That's our West Outer Drive and the Southfield Freeway. That's one of the satellite locations, and you are able to go today. As a matter of fact, they already started, and you could go there. And it's 35 or 36, I think it's 36 days left where you have an opportunity to go and vote. You also can go vote to the clerk's office, which is located on West Grand Boulevard, diagonally across from the Fisher Building. That's one of the largest landmarks in the city. And I use that to give people an idea, because I think 99% of the people know where the Fisher Building is. and you can go to the clerk's office. If you don't have an absentee ballot, you can pick up an absentee ballot. You can vote right there, and you can turn your ballot in right then and there.
And if you receive, which I did receive, a letter from the Detroit Election Commission to have not only to have my ballot, absentee ballot submitted for this particular election, but for every forthcoming election. So they have two boxes you can check. If you just want to do it for this election and you show up at the polls in 2024, that's fine. But there's another box where you can have it, I guess, as they say, in perpetuity, where they'll just constantly, every time there's an election, primary and general election, they will send you a absentee ballot. So you can, take advantage of either one of those things. But there's no reason not to be a part of the political system, because as Theo says, when they make laws, I may be, let's just say I'm paraphrasing Theo, but you'll be affected by the law whether you vote or not, because the politician that you did or did not select will make those decisions. So you can't say that, well, I don't like so-and-so and I don't like so-and-so. Well, you may not like what so-and-so does once they get in there, and you could have had a say-so as to whether that so-and-so was elected or not. And again, okay, this is 2022. There have been two elections. We've had the primary, now we're having a general election. 365 days in this year. We're only talking about 2 days out of 365, so that means you get 363 to do whatever your fancy is. But for those 2 days out of 365, and it's not even a whole day, you're looking at a half hour, just depending on whether you go to the polls or not. So we're not looking at a big chunk of your time in your life. Many employers now are allowing their employees not to even have to work on election day, so that way they can participate in the political process. So all the excuses that you can come up with, they're wiping away these excuses, and reasons are the only thing, and there's no reason not to.
And I like the idea of having that whole day off, and the
I
voters.
got the list of the voting centers for people that can drop off, vote, or just drop off.
Oh yeah, some of those as well, and also a person can call a friend or family member and say, hey, let's go to breakfast and then go vote, or let's go vote and then go to breakfast, or make a luncheon engagement and go vote and then go to lunch or dinner. It's up until 8 p.m. at night. So
Did you want me to announce the voting centers where they can go vote and drop off?
sure, yeah, you have that in front
You
of you.
can vote and drop box at Adam Butzel Rec Center,
Oh yeah.
Butzel Family Center,
But
City Clerk's
stop.
Office.
Well, tell them where it is. Buzzell Rec Center is on Linden, just east of Myers. Okay.
That's Adam Butzel.
Awesome. And then, right. And the other Butzel Center.
Butzel Family is on Countryville right at Van Dyke.
Van Dyke, right on the corner there.
And the City Clerk's Office is at the CAYMC. Is that the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center?
No, well, the clerk is there, but she's actually taking care of city council business in that building.
They're saying you can vote and drop off at the city clerk's office, and then they put in parentheses CAYMC.
Oh, K-Man.
I don't know why. You're right, because you would think they would be talking about the election office right there on the boulevard.
On West Grand Boulevard. It's very inconvenient to go into the...
Right, how you going to park?
Yeah.
Take the bike and the people moving on that new train.
Very inconvenient and expensive too, because when you're paying to park and going over, just it'd be much simpler just to go to West Grand Boulevard.
And they have
now,
people
Clark
standing
Park,
out there.
I can't tell you where that is. Tabitha, you might know where Clark Park is.
Oh, that's Michigan Avenue.
I've been there so many years.
Department of Election, they got that one 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Firewell Rec Center, that's on Outer Drive by past Ryan Road, right past Ryan
and Outer Drive. Okay.
Greater Grace Temple, is that?
It's on West 7 Mile.
And Hellman Community Center, I don't know where that is. Kennedy Rec Center, Everybody know where the
Kim,
Northwest Activity Center is. Mostly
Kimini,
Myers and Curtis.
Kimini
Tyndall
Center's in
Activity Center,
Southwest
I believe it's
Detroit.
on 7 Mile on the west side.
Which one?
WCCCD Eastern Campus and WCCCD Northwest.
The Eastern Campus of Wayne County Community College is on Connor, just off of I-94 freeway, right near the airport.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
now,
so,
those are the places you can vote and drop box, but the drop box only is at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. That's over there near Burroughs. Liberty Temple Baptist Church.
Is on,
I know where the
Green.
Messiah
That's on
Baptist Church
Greenfield.
is on the boulevard.
Liberty is on Greenfield.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
North Rosedale Park Community House. I don't know what that is. Sounds like
that's
one of the things about some of the things that you're listing is that the people who live in those communities are familiar with it. So even though we can't tell you maybe specifically some of the things, if that's in your community, I would hope that you would know about it because it is in your community.
Right.
Very.
Renaissance Baptist Church, Rouge Golf Course, and WCCD downtown.
Mm-hmm.
4th Street.
On West 4th Street, yes. That's near the
4th
main
Street.
post office. Uh-huh. Wow.
Right. So
Yeah.
they're sending out these cards to give you these locations, and then they have a scan code you can scan and find out the addresses, hours, and information. So hopefully many more people are getting there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, it's good to know that those voting locations are open now. They are open now. And it'll be convenient, easy to go in and vote to those places now, because if you wait until the day, maybe it's a person who likes crowds. I don't know why, but there's a possibility. But in the meantime, for those who don't, they can go now to the polling locations.
Why put off tomorrow what you can do today?
I remember hearing that somewhere.
Procrastinate.
That's right. I just got to get good research to help me vote for those proposals. I need to know what to do before I go in, because I can go to Buffalo. That's close for me.
Oh, okay. Well, we have them right here. First, I want to tell you that it's interesting voting for people on the ballot. When it comes to the judges, there's only one section where there's a concern. The other sections, if there are 15 seats to be filled and there are 15 judicial candidates campaigning, guess what? They're all going to get in if they vote for themselves or each other. If there are 15 seats and 15 people, stands to reason, nothing left over. If there are 9 seats and 9 candidates running, guess what? They'll all get in. But there is one section where there are 6 people campaigning for 5 seats.
And that happens to be the judge of circuit court, 3rd Circuit, non-incumbent position. There are 6 people who are running for 5 positions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only one. As Theo said, all the rest of them, if they just vote for themselves, they're in because they don't have any competition.
So you might want to look at those very closely. And it was interesting. There's a candidate, and we were trying to find out if he's the one who went to court to change his last name, to his wife's last name. Do you see those in there at the meeting?
It's not identifying who that might be, though. There's a Nicholas John Hathaway.
Hathaway.
That's what I'm thinking.
Hathaway is the one who I don't know if he's a member, but they have had several judge positions. And there's an interesting policy that once a person turns 70 years old, they cannot campaign again. They're just automatically off the bench. And that's why you'll see a lot of new names. But this Hathaway person went to court to change his name, his last name, to his wife's last name, so that he would have that popularity of name recognition. And we are trying to identify if he is the one who did it. So that might make your decision a little easier.
And that name just out of the six popped up in my head because I did remember a female who was a Hathaway who ran. And so when I saw the six names, I said, well, this is probably Nicholas John Hathaway, who's trying to get a position. Which one of the things that Theo made a comment on, and we'll be going to a break in about a minute or so, is I wish that the Supreme Court had that age restriction, because it seems like you can stay there until they carry you out, unfortunately. And I don't think that, and then, you know, we speak about, or they speak about, does President Biden have the mental faculties to run again if he runs in 2024? But I would say, can we trust the Supreme Court justice to have mental faculties as well?
To stay there, exactly.
And something should be changed in that, because people do have a bit of maybe memory loss. Not all, but there are some. And I would hate for a guy or woman on the high court to be kind of losing it a little bit, and they sitting up there maybe snoozing during some of the depositions.
Well, that did happen. There's a family member of mine who had an opportunity to go and learn about the Supreme Court, and Clarence Thomas, of all people, was sleeping. And it appears that it was intentional, because he woke up, sat up, got a glass. They all have pitchers of water in a glass. And he poured water into the glass, took a sip, and then went back to sleep.
Well, Jenny had already told him how to vote on the issue anyway, so he didn't need to hear it.
Absolutely. We're at the top of the hour now.
Yep.
Okay. We are going to take our station identification break. I guess they say
this is Bruce Simpson, your city of Detroit.
And we will be back momentarily to talk about the proposals.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
All right, everybody, settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wally Woodland here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Come Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit, HD2.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And thank you so much for staying tuned to Hood Research. We want to take this last segment of the show to talk about the proposals, and there are three. And those who live within the county of Wayne, outside of the city of Detroit, are going to be asked to vote on a proposal to continue the levy or tax for smart transportation. And the BD is like 0.099, which means 10 cent, right, per thousand of your property taxes. And that's doable because it gives the people in Highland Park an opportunity to ride the smart bus. Now, I personally don't appreciate the smart bus taking over some of our lucrative routes inside the city of Detroit. However, if there are some of our people who work outside and they need the transportation and that's on the lucrative route, that's what has to be at this time. In the meantime, there are three proposals on the ballot for the voters inside the city of Detroit. And the BD, would you read the first one? What is it? Is it 22
-1.
Okay, 22-1.
Okay. A proposal to amend the state constitution to require annual public financial disclosure reports by legislators and other state officers and change state legislator term limit to 12 total years in legislature. Now, it's described as this proposed constitutional amendment would, bullet point 1, require members of legislature, governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, and attorney general file annual public financial disclosure reports after 2023, including assets, liabilities, income sources, future employment agreements, gifts, travel reimbursements, and positions held in organizations except religious, social, and political organizations. Bullet point 2, require legislator implement but not limit or restrict reporting requirements. Bullet point 3, replace current term limits for state representatives and state senators with a 12-year total limit in any combination between House and Senate, except a person elected to Senate in 2022 may be elected the number of times allowed when that person became a candidate. Should this proposal be adopted?
Okay. Well, if you want to have the elected officials on that state level, make sure that they show you their, actually it's basically tax returns, because the campaign information is available already. And we know that there are these, what they call them, super PACs. They collect money in the back, in the corner, in the dark, and they give out donations to the candidates that they're trying to buy. And if you want to have the candidates make sure that they show all of their W-2 information, etc., then you want to vote yes on that. Also, if you want good candidates who represent you, who are now only able to serve 6 years, the term limit is of 6 years, have it changed to 12, then you also would want to vote yes. The most important thing, though, is for the elected officials to expose their own financial receipts. Okay.
Proposal 22-2, a proposal to amend the state constitution to add provisions regarding elections. This proposed constitutional amendment would, bullet point 1, recognize fundamental right to vote without harassing conduct. Bullet point 2, require military or overseas ballots to be counted if postmarked by election day. 3, provide voter right to verify, identify with photo ID or signed statement. 4, provide voter right to single application to vote absentee in all elections. 5, require state-funded absentee ballot drop boxes and postage for absentee applications and ballots. 6, provide that only election officials may conduct post-election audits. 7, require 9 days of early in-person voting. 10, allow donations to fund elections which must be disclosed. And 12, require canvass boards certify election results based only on the official records of votes cast. Should this proposal be adopted?
That's interesting. You know, I think all but the 9-day are already in play. You know, the certified campaign workers and the commission, the election commission, and the other policy requirements are already being followed. But the little trick in that proposal, for me, says allow 9 days to vote. Could you read that again?
Okay. Require 9 days of early in-person voting.
Right. So only 9 days. You're talking about creating long lines, tired people, aggravated people, and people who will walk away and not vote at all. And because of that trick statement, I would say that a no vote is the best vote for 22-2, right?
Yes.
Okay. The third one.
Okay, these glasses on here. Okay, this is proposal 22-3, a proposal to amend the state constitution to establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make all decisions about pregnancy and abortion, allow state to regulate abortion in some cases, and forbid prosecution of individuals exercising established rights. This proposed constitutional amendment would, first, establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make and carry out all decisions about pregnancy, such as prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion, miscarriage management, and infertility. 2, allow state to regulate abortion after fetal viability, but not prohibit if medically needed to protect a patient's life or physical or mental health. 3, forbid state discrimination in enforcement of this right, prohibit prosecution of an individual or a person helping a pregnant individual for exercising rights established by this amendment. 4, invalidate state laws conflicting with this amendment, should this proposal be adopted.
Well, what it says to me is in the first sentence about a person, woman in particular, wanting to retain the right to make her own decisions. And that's the important part of that particular legislation. When you talk about contraceptives, that's a little weird because there is no viability. Contraceptives prevent a woman from becoming impregnated. So that to me is a trick question. And why would anyone want to have someone else determine whether or not she could use or he could use contraceptives? So I would say that with the first question, should the woman have the right over the decisions of her body, then the answer is yes, she should have the right. So with those three proposals, it seems that 1 and 3 are yes, and the second one is a no. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if anyone has any other concerns about it, please don't hesitate to call in and talk about that.
And I have to agree with Proposal 3 and yes vote also, because I think that, when, number one, politicians should never have a right to determine what a lady or woman does with her body. And some of these, as the ads have shown or said, these extremist or militant views where they say not only should she not have the right, but if she were sexually assaulted or victim of incest, or if the mother's life was in danger and a politician says, well, we don't really care if she lives or dies, don't do anything to this fetus. Same thing with the incest or rape. And the whole idea that you are forcing a woman to carry to full term a child she did not want, especially if she's been violated, and then there will be no assistance from the state or any agencies for the entire life of that child from the time they're born up until they're 18. There's no assistance, so you put that burden on a female. The father may or may not be a part of it or want to participate in that child's life. So you put this extreme burden on a woman and say you can or cannot. We have the right to tell you what to do with your body. It's unfortunate. Now, we do have a caller.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, caller. You on the
Hello?
air? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, proposal 22-2 is a no. Proposal 22-3 is a yes. What was the other proposal? I think you said yes.
22-1 is a yes also.
22-1 is a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're
I'm ready to vote now.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right. We want the politicians to come clean, as they say. Show us your records and let us know that you are not being bought by lobbyists. That's one of the important things about that, because oftentimes the lobbyists will say, "Well, here, let me just ease a little money over here, or a contract over there, or a car, or whatever it is."
You want to go to Hawaii? We
Yeah,
got you.
right. All of those different things. And we want to know that our elected officials are doing what is best for the community, that the votes that they're taking are not being paid for.
And now you have the time to honestly do the research that you need on candidates, because you can Google anything nowadays. And I've said this over and over again, that if the candidate does not have a track record, then what are you going to vote for them on? It can't be based on their record if there's no record. And I look at many times in these elections, many politicians are opportunists. They see, as you said, Theo, there's a vacancy open. Well, let me put my name on the ballot and, maybe go to Office Depot and print out some flyers and everything and, leave them here at the barber shop or the auto mechanic shop and see if I can get in. But these people don't have a record or a background of community service or political service, maybe not even the education As we know, 45 didn't have anything going for him but
Oh,
money and a lot of wolf tickets.
right,
And
right.
look what happened. And we have many politicians on lower skills, particularly when we deal with state, local, city, and county positions, where these people have nothing to show except that they want a job. I guess they've been unemployed for a while, so they said, well, let me try my hand at this. It couldn't be any
Could
worse
be
than
any
anything
worse.
else.
Right. Now, you need to also know that on the one side of the ballot, where candidates are indicating that they are a member of a party, one or the other, at this time it's mostly Democratic or Republican, you can vote a straight ticket and vote for everybody that's a Democrat. When it comes to the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, okay, you have to decide which candidate you want. And there are two candidates. Now, why they separated from the other straight party voting is interesting in itself. But there are two candidates who are on the ballot. One is Richard Bernstein, who is a Democrat. He's already on the Supreme Court, would like to be reelected. And there's a young lady who's an African American who is also on the ballot. The rest of the people, you can only vote for two. The rest of the people on the ballot are of the Republican persuasion. And we do know that Donald Trump is using a lot of his influence and other people's money to help get the candidates elected that he wants elected, because he wants the laws that he wants to be approved. So the young lady is a young lady.
Kyra Harris Bolden.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that name, and if you had your pen and paper handy, write that down. Kyra Harris Bolden. Her and Richard Bernstein are the candidates that I'm supporting. I'll just put it like this. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm saying that I feel like these two will act in the best interest, because as we know, they're trying to overload legislature, Supreme Court, and every political office with people who have Republican points of view, which I would say also are I don't want to necessarily say decadent, but let's say that they're retroactive in that they want to uphold positions which are detrimental to the general population. They have archaic views, and their views when it comes to deciding things. We already know this from the Supreme Court when it was a 6-3 vote in terms of Roe versus Wade. So these particularly Supreme Court, they're not supposed to have political affiliations, but we already know with Trump out there beating the drum. He just was in Macomb County this past weekend. We know that they don't really care about right or wrong. They just care about party loyalty and party viewpoints. Kyra Harris Bolden and Richard Bernstein, Supreme Court.
Yeah, you should be so bold as to vote for Bolden. Now, on the school board, there are 18 people campaigning for 4 seats. 18 people. And we know that Telford, we've interviewed Telford years ago, but he's a candidate for the school board. And there's a lady Harris and a McClendon. Currently, we're told that none of the school board members have children, but they're trying to let us know that they're concerned about the children. Anyway, if you see Harris and you see McClendon, those two candidates do have children in the Detroit public school system.
It's Bessie L. Harris and Latrice McClendon.
Bessie Harris and Latrice McClendon. And we're concerned about people who have no connection with the children in the system and not voting for the benefit of the children.
Now, let me ask you, Theo, because I'm not sure, but do school board members receive stipends?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
told they do.
Okay. So
But
it's
still, it's a volunteer job.
okay. And so it's not a regular salary. I just want people to understand what it is. It's not something where they get a paycheck every week, but I believe they receive monies in terms of when they attend a particular meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
And they do meet 12 months of the year. They don't get out for summer vacation like the students do. And their meetings are the second Tuesday of each month. Most of their meetings are held at King High School. And the next meeting for the Detroit Public School Board will be a week from tomorrow, which should be today's the 3rd, the 4th. Today's the 4th, right? The 5th. So it would be the 12th of October.
And that happens to be my alma mater, too. So I say, go Crusaders, M.L. King.
Yeah, come out and let them know what you think about what's going on and how you can help and ideas you may have. And the school superintendent is there, and he does respond to you as well. And you need to be there, though, no later than 5:30, because you have to sign up to speak at the microphone to the board and to the superintendent.
And one of the things that Percy Johnson, who we had on 2 weeks ago, said, and I agree. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong, and then I'll continue, Theo. Do they give you a time limit on speaking?
They give you 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
And why?
Better than the city council. It gives you one.
And one of the things that Percy suggested, which is what I'm suggesting to you all viewers who may not have saw him, is that if you have people in your community and you know that you have a time limit on speaking, then get those people who are like-minded in your community to go with you. So when your 2 minutes is up, it's like they're on the team. They can come back and use their 2 minutes to keep pitching that same idea. And you just continue to do that. So you drum it in, those who are listening, the school board commissioners, you get a chance to drum it in. Because your 2 minutes, if you're by yourself, then that 2 minutes comes and goes. And the thought may be lost by the time 10 other people come behind you. But if you get 10 people from your community or whatever number, and after you finish, then it's just like a relay race. You pass the baton to the next person and they hit them with the same thing. You just continue to do that and then they'll get the point then, because it won't be lost just on one individual. So that's just my suggestion. Attend the meetings and try to bring someone in the community with you who can also be a proponent for that same idea, so that the people who are listening will get the point that, look, we mean business.
We are definitely serious about it, and to attend those meetings on the second Tuesday of each month is extremely important. It lets them know that you're serious about it. And there have even been people there at the meeting who said that they're not voting for them again, and they'll give reasons why they're not. But if you never respond, then they'll think that whatever they're doing, no matter how wrong it is, they'll think it's okay.
Yeah, and that's very critical, because a closed mouth, not only does it not get fed, but it's not heard either. So if you don't say anything, then the status quo remains. And if you want to disrupt things, or not necessarily disrupt them, but just offer an alternative point of view, then it's absolutely necessary that you go ahead and let your voice be known. And again, there's an African proverb which says, sticks in a bundle are not easily broken. So if you go up there just as one individual with one point of view, you know how easy it is to snap a toothpick, let's say a stick or something. But if you come in a group, it's harder for them to be able to ignore what you have to say. And I can't emphasize this enough. Now, I will be honest and say that there are people in my own circle, family, etc., who, no matter what, they just don't seem to get it and won't participate. There's nothing I can do about it other than just make that point. Now, it's been indicated we had down to our last 3 minutes, so therefore I want Theo to be able to let you know how to contact Hood Research, phone numbers, and all that good stuff. And if you got your pen and paper handy, it's time to use it now.
All right. And of course, we want you to join Hood Research. The membership for a year is $20. Lifetime membership is $300. We say, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. We at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share with you. Encourage you to call and share with us as well, because it helps us all make better informed decisions. To contact Hood Research by phone or email as follows. The telephone number is area code 248-234-2371. Again, the telephone number is area code 248-234-2371. Now, to contact us by email, it is contact@hoodresearch.org. Again, CONTACT. And the little at, little A with a circle around it. Then HOOD. Then RESEARCH.org. That's contact@hoodresearch.org. We also have a website, and which is Hood Research. And we want you to follow us on Twitter. Now, if you forget any of this, just ask Google. Google, hook me up to Hood Research. You say Google Hood Research, and you should get to the site, the meeting.
Yes, two things. First, something I mentioned to Theo on the way here. If you have anyone, youth in particular, let's say 18 on up, GED or high school diploma, who may be interested in the skilled trades, go to MUST, M-U-S-T, careers, careers.org. Now, this is open for many different opportunities within the skilled trade industry, carpentry, brick mason, electrician, etc. So again, that's mustcareers.org. And as I always say at the end of the program, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you finish.
Thank you so much for being tuned in this morning. And we look forward to you being with us next Monday. In the meantime, if you got your pen and paper handy, you can write this number down and join us Saturday afternoon between 3 and 6. And the number is 1-978-990-5000. The access code is 338-729. Press the pound key, and you'll hear the dialogue. Again, 1-978-990-5000. It rings one time. Then you put in the access code, which is 338-729 pound, and join us. Remember, the power is in the vote, and the vote is in your hand. Peace. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am the BDM Pinda.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you. Feedback.